How many times have you been asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? In kindergarten, I wanted to be a doctor. In second grade, I wanted to be an astronomer. From 4th through 8th grade, I wanted to be a judge. And then in 9th grade, I wanted to be an ambassador to the United Nations. The question dropped on children from the moment they can speak reflects a certain obsession that we have with picking a path or a passion even before they graduate from diapers. If you've read the best-selling book, INliers by Malcolm Gladwell, then you read about the 10,000-hour rule, which basically means that in order to become an expert at something, be it tennis, drawing, piano, anything, then you have to practice it for 10,000 hours. But 10,000 hours is a long time. Quick calculations show that if, for example, you wanted to become an expert in tennis, and you practice tennis for 3 hours a day, every single day, then it would take you over 9 years to reach 10,000 hours. How many of us have actually spent 10,000 hours on just one thing? And no, Facebook doesn't count. So, to reach 10,000 hours, we would have to start early, really early. There was a recent article in Time magazine, and it was about youth sports, or rather, third graders, who are playing national championship basketball with the AAU. Quoting from the article, New York coach William Francis said, "If your son isn't playing in the AAU by middle school, then he's missing out. He's definitely behind." So, what is the message here? Is it that we as children had better pick our careers by 10 or 13 or 17, because if we haven't done so by then, it's too late. We'll never be able to catch up. Yet, adults are changing their careers 10 to 15 times over the course of their lives. High school students, we're expected to have picked our majors even before we apply to college and to show a passion for it. Yet, college students are changing their majors 2 to 3 times in just 4 years of school. So the question, what do you want to be when you grow up, becomes, if anything, pointless. Asking an 8-year-old the question might get you 3 or 4 answers, even before the end of dinner time. And actually, some of you adults out there might still be thinking, so what do I want to be when I grow up? And perhaps the answer is, well, it's okay to be well-rounded. Or is it? Google doesn't think so. Because if you Google the phrase well-roundedness, what you'll get are these results: the curse of mediocrity. Why well-rounded people are less likely to escape the 9 to 5. Why you can't find women engineers, they're too well-rounded. Why being professionally well-rounded is generally a formula for being mediocre. But wait, there's a twist. Because if you dig a little bit deeper, what you'll see is a total 180. You'll see titles like why university students need a well-rounded education, the importance of a well-rounded education, how to show an employer that you're well-rounded. This past summer, I visited several colleges and universities, and at each and every tour and information session, I heard just this one refrain: we are a university that prides ourselves on providing our students with a well-rounded liberal arts education. If you ask a hiring employer what she needs, she'll say that she needs better communication, which basically means that she needs people who are well-versed in different departments, which basically means that she needs well-rounded people. Then why do we spend so much time trying to find that one thing that is supposed to give our life meaning, that one thing that is our life's true purpose? Because our society needs the people who fall in between. The people who maybe aren't going to end up being MVP or the next celebrity walking down the red carpet, but the people who act as the glue that holds our community together. The people who can have conversations with journalists, artists, writers, scientists, mathematicians, politicians, businessmen, and do it easily. the people who provide our community with that sense of connectedness and continuity that we so desperately need. Now, suppose we set aside the question, what do you want to be when you grow up, and we look at the traditional idiom, jack of all trades, master of none. But this phrase isn't just an American or a Western phrase. It's found in over 35 different languages. Here are just a few. In Arabic, there's the one who knows 2 trades is a liar. In Cantonese, there's equipped with knives all over, yet none are sharp. In Estonian, there's 9 trades, and the 10th one, hunger. In Spanish, there's an ocean of knowledge is an inch deep. And then in Japanese, many talents is no talent. So in all of these cultures, it's frowned upon to be a jack of all trades and master of none. When I was 9 years old, I told my ice skating coach that I couldn't make the next competition because of a piano recital. Reproachfully, he looked me in the eye and he said, "Staphany, you don't want to end up as a jack of all trades and master of none." But I wasn't really daunted because I didn't quite know what the phrase meant. But in trying to put down those who know many trades, those well-rounded people, what entire group are we leaving out? The Renaissance men and women. Leonardo da Vinci wasn't just a painter, he was also a scientist, an inventor, and an engineer. One of our own founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin, wasn't just a politician, he was also a diplomat, a newspaper editor, a writer, and an inventor. But these people are all dead, though. There's no such thing as Renaissance men and women anymore. You can't survive like that in today's society. Or can you? What about James Franco? He's an actor, a writer, a painter, and he even teaches a class at NYU. Or there's Justin Timberlake. So we know him as a musician, a singer, a songwriter, but he's also a clothing designer, an actor, a producer, a writer, a golfer, and a philanthropist. And there's Gwen Stefani. She's a singer, a songwriter, but she's also a designer, an actress, and a philanthropist. And then there's F. Story Musgrave. He's an aviation electrician, an instrument technician, an aircraft crew chief, a mathematician, an experimental parachutist, a surgeon, a professor of psychology and biophysics, and an astronaut. So, Renaissance men and women aren't just a thing of the past. They're a thing of the now. They are the people who toss aside the phrase jack of all trades, master of none, and prove themselves to be jack of all trades, master of some. Very few of us end up becoming the doctors that we said we would become at age 4. And even fewer of us have that dedication to spend 10,000 hours on just one activity. Because could you imagine if Leonardo da Vinci has spent 10,000 hours on painting? He wouldn't have just magically become good at science or inventing on the side. And so it's more fulfilling, more practical, and more inspiring for us to spend 10,000 hours dividing. 1,000 hours in painting, 2,000 hours in writing, 3,000 hours in reading, and so on. Committing to more than one thing does not equate with mediocrity. Just ask all those Renaissance men. I'm a humanities person, so what in the world am I doing volunteering for a math circle? It's because I enjoy that eclectic Renaissance feel of not being tied down to just one commitment or one passion. And when I spent my 10,000 hours in different ways, when I committed myself to more than one group, I realized that, yeah, maybe I didn't end up as MVP of my tennis team, but I learned to communicate with others, to problem solve with others, to create with others, and to communicate with others. Others who have had separate experiences, separate beliefs, and separate ideas from me. But the most important thing that I gained from being a part of all these different groups is an identity. I'm not afraid to speak out, to share my ideas, and to serve each group. And maybe it does take me a lot longer than someone else to reach 10,000 hours in each of my activities. But in working towards those 10,000 hours, I'm learning to speak to our world, to share with our world, and to serve our world. With these 10,000 hours divided, I just may one day become a jack of all trades, master of some. I just may one day become a Renaissance woman with the hopes of having others join my side. Thank you.